Saints have added to their tight end room, and it is Jack Stoll in free agency on a one-year contract. The finances have yet to be announced, but I've already put out my immediate reaction early this morning. I was at my apartment, couldn't get to the studio quick enough, so I wanted to put some short-form content out real quick for you guys. That's why you subscribe, because even if I can't get to the studio, we're still going to give you guys reactions and updates. So Jack Stoll, like I mentioned, one-year deal. We don't know the contract. We don't know how much it's going to cost the Saints, but I don't expect it to be anything outrageously expensive. I do think Jack Stoll can come in and fill a position in need for a run-blocking tight end, and I do think that Foster Moreau was quality in that role, but don't forget he suffered an injury in that last week of the season, and Taysom Hill, he's also rehabbing from an injury, and from what I understand, the rehab is going well, but Taysom Hill is also not a true tight end. Neither is Juwan Johnson. So on your roster, you have two true tight ends in Foster Moreau and Dallin Holker, and then you also add Jack Stoll into the mix, making that three. Now, Jack Stoll, it's not a guy who's going to be getting you 1,000 yards. He's not even going to probably get you 500 yards. Over the course of his career, 30 targets, 22 receptions, 193 yards, 7 first downs, and 0 touchdowns. He was an undrafted free agent, signed with the Eagles. Then he spent some time with the Miami Dolphins and did not log a single stat with Miami. So we'll have to see what his role is on the roster, but he does have familiarity with Kellen Moore, and I think that this could be a good addition, and he could be a good guy to have as a run-blocking tight end. And it could help the run game. That's the only thing that can really help improve. So really quickly, I just want to encourage you, subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay locked in on all updates around the New Orleans Saints. We went live yesterday for over 4.5 hours. We'll go live again today if there's any crazy updates. I'm not expecting anything, but maybe Asante Samuel, maybe a Mekhi Becton. Who knows what will happen? Cooper Kupp is still out there. Could he be a Saint? Who knows? Subscribe today, and we'll keep you guys notified or updated. Make sure your noties are on. Let's talk Jack Stoll. So I wanted to kind of go back in time and look a little bit at his draft profile because, admittedly, when we signed this player, I was like, I know that name. I'm not sure how I know that name, but I remember him. First of all, look at this guy. That's a killer. That right there is an all-pro. You could tell me nothing about this guy, and you could say, yeah, he's actually like first ballot Hall of Fame tight end. I'd be like, yeah, probably. I could see, look at the mullet, look at the facial hair. Dude's a freaking unit. And let's go look back at his draft profile. He's known for leadership. He has really, really good change of directions when he tested at his pro day. On top of that, he is very talented as a run blocker, as we know. He's very physical when he's running with the ball after the catch, and he can be used in quick game. He has soft and natural hands as a pass catcher, but you don't need to rely on him to be a true pass catcher every single down. I think pairing him with Juwan Johnson is a nice pairing. I think when you have a two tight end set with a nice blocking tight end, but also a nice receiving tight end, that is a good combination. But, it does beg the question, is Tyler Warren off the table? He is a player who's been very popular in terms of Saints mock drafts and in terms of players that have been linked to the New Orleans Saints. And, honestly, I still feel like that is a player it's hard for me to pass up on. There's two ways to think about this. One, I love the idea of getting a Tyler Warren because of how unique and how talented he is. But two, I don't view tight end as an immediate need anymore in the first round. So maybe you go the Ted McMillan round. Maybe you go Will Johnson. Maybe you go Mason Graham. Maybe you go Will Campbell. There's other options now because you do have a tight end. I think the Saints are doing a good job of plugging in roster holes while still not overdoing it and giving you the opportunity to add talent through the draft. Now, Tyler Warren, we know what he is, an offensive weapon. He is an absolute behemoth of a human being, 6'6", 257 pounds. You can have him be a pass catcher. You can have him run the ball. He's extremely versatile. That being said, his run blocking could use some work, and I think that's where Jack Stoll could come in and be very beneficial. Over 1,000 yards last season, 8 touchdowns. He was the Mackey Award winner, almost 12 yards per catch, over 100 receptions. I still think drafting Tyler Warren would be a good move in terms of the long term because, again, this is a one-year contract. So I personally would still draft Tyler Warren. That being said, I'm not necessarily convinced that that is a big-time need now for the Saints. Like this, like I said, opens up the avenue to be able to address other needs in the draft and be able to add other talent that you can have long term. So reminder, 1-year contract here. Juwan Johnson's on a 3-year deal. It's 3 years, 30 million. It's actually like you can get out of it after 20 million kind of thing. It's not that complicated to get out of these things. So I still think this is a good option. But I can see why you would go with the pass route. If you guys want to get linked up, swagged out with some Saints jerseys, hit the link down below in the comments and description. We got this sick Alvin Kamara throwback jersey, chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. We got home, we got away, we got current players, legends, men's, women's, and children's sizes all available. You want the color rush, you want the throwback? Well, guess what? You can also get those as well. Shout out to every one of you who supports us and buys a jersey. And if you don't want to spend the $100+ on a jersey, I don't blame you. Just find a nice little t-shirt, find a nice hat or something like that. Navigate the website through this link and you'll still be able to support us and you'll still be able to get swagged out. Link is in the comments and description of this video. So really quick, let's just go through all of the moves that the Saints have made up to this point, because every time we make a free agency video, I want to make sure you're updated and you're informed and you know what's going on around your team. So Dante Pettis, 1-year deal, still don't know the financials. Devon Godshaw, you traded for him, a 2026 7th-round pick. In return, you get an excellent run-stopping defensive tackle. I think he is going to be a very key piece to the Saints defensive line. Nathan Shepard gets an extension. Chase Young, 3-year, $51 million deal. Every time we talk about this, I go back to the same point. He was top 6 in terms of pressures according to Next Gen Stats. You turn those pressures into production, that is a great contract. And I think the combination of Bo Davis as the defensive line coach and Brandon Staley's new scheme could really benefit Chase Young. Tyrann Mathieu, he got a rework deal, 1 year up to $7.2 million. Juwan Johnson, 3-year deal. Like I said, it's 21.25 is guaranteed, so that's actually not as bad of a contract as people initially thought. Justin Reid, love this move. Great signing. Absolutely love it. You lose Will Harris in free agency to the Commanders. He is not only a replacement, but an upgrade. And then Cam Jordan, reworked deal. He has a new contract. He's back in New Orleans. He ain't going nowhere. He took to Twitter and posted that clip from the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not effing leaving. Jack Stoll, we broke this down. We talked about it in the first few minutes of this video. So that's what happened in terms of the additions for the New Orleans Saints. In terms of players that have left, we lost Paulson Adebo to the Giants. We lost Will Harris to the Washington Commanders. You lost Peyton Turner to the Dallas Cowboys. And you lose MVS to the Seattle Seahawks. Also worth noting, Saints didn't get any comp picks from last year's free agency and everything. So that sucks. I know it's all about the finances and the contract and stuff, but that sucks. You didn't get a comp pick for Zach Bond, who was an all-pro and, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, was really, really good. Just like shooting yourself in the foot once again. Anyway, long story short, Jack Stoll, he is the newest member of the New Orleans Saints. He is going to be competing in the tight end room. I don't think he's going to be a tight end 1 by any means. I think he's going to be a nice rotational tight end 2, tight end 3. In terms of who the odd man out is, Foster Moreau, Dallin Holker, I think those are your 2 guys that are, at risk of possibly losing their spot on the roster. I think Moreau will stick around. Dallin Holker, I think he actually is more so the odd man out. Not saying I want him cut. I want to see more from Holker. I think he has some interesting traits and some interesting qualities. That being said, I'm not an NFL coach, so what do I know? Saints fans, y'all stay golden. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.